time is Rocky Marciano, somebody who I heard about obviously growing up from I was a little kid, 4 or 5 years old. He passed away in '69. I was 5, but he was almost like mythical, like he wasn't even real because that's all I heard about, was Rocky Marciano. But your thoughts on the Brockton blockbuster?
Oh, I thought you were going to go first and set
No, I'll
this
let
up.
you go.
No, Rocky, man, he was just great. I got to, of course, unlike you guys, I couldn't see him live. But on film, man, he just gave you everything. Wasn't the biggest guy, undefeated fighter. I think we have some great footage of him, man. Just some of his knockouts, man. Just an exciting fighter, man. Gave you everything.
Through lefts, rights.
Left, hit you on the back of the head, anything. He would do it all, man. And I think he's the type of fighter that would fight in any era, Not the biggest guy. Oh, just on the ropes. He just fearless out there.
Watch this, greatest punch of all time. Bang.
Oh, man. And that's the one that you see all the pictures where it's whole, you see all the bones contorted.
Yeah.
Just an amazing fighter. One of the greatest of all time. I don't have him as top like you do, Claudio, but he's definitely in my top 5. Just an amazing fighter. Everything I see on film, and he was a great guy off as
sure
well,
was.
man. Just amazing.
Helped a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
Smokin Jim.
Well, he's my #1 heavyweight of all time. There's nobody even close. To be a great heavyweight champion, you got to love to knock out black fighters, and he loved it. You gotta have a passion for that, Luke. Hey, listen, Rocky didn't turn pro till he was 25 years old. He's relatively old. He only fighting pro 2 years when he knocked out Joe Louis.
Joe Louis is 70 years old.
Well, Rocky was only fighting for 2 years.
He's 70
at
years
that
old.
time.
He was older than Holyfield.
Listen, nobody was more conditioned. I don't know any fighter.
Right.
I don't even know any distant runner that runs 15 miles a day.
With dress shoes and clothes, uncomfortable clothes.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy that took the blue. He idolized Joe Louis.
He sure did.
He did 3 times what Joe Louis would do. He says, I don't know, I don't have the talent, but I can outwork him. Right. He was in condition. The guy used to go to training camp for 8 months to get ready for a fight. You're not going to, this guy came in there, he was a warrior. He wasn't going to get beat. Would he have gotten beat today? Yeah, because we got tender hearts like you two. Rocky got one time, his nose is just flailing. This part of his nose bleeding everywhere. They would stop the fight today. Cuts above the eye, they would stop the fights today. But if they let Rocky fight, nobody would beat him today, but he would get stopped on cuts.
The one misconception of Rocky, and maybe they made it. Maybe it's from the Rocky movies, the Balboa and all that. But he just took 30 punches to give one. He wasn't as easy to hit as people made him out to be because he was so low and he moved. He wasn't a dancer, obviously, like Muhammad Ali. Obviously, he was a slugger. But if you look at the fights, the Walcott fight, yes, he was cut. Okay, the Ezra Charles. He was cut. He had a split. There's never been another cut in the history of boxing like that where the nose was like a butterfly. But they were going to stop it because he was bleeding so bad.
They should have stopped that.
And nowadays they would have. But they would have probably said, he said, give me one more round. And he finished it off. I think that Rocky today, knowing the rules the way they are, maybe I'm being biased. He said, hey, Rock, we can't afford to go deep in the rounds anymore. You got to get rid of these guys quick. Okay. Stamina-wise, he used to hit a 500-pound heavy bag, so when he hit a human, it was nothing. Wow. He used to watch a pendulum. He just was obsessed with training. Like you said, he would run. He was one of the first fighters who would train underwater. There's a great picture of Muhammad Ali training underwater. Rocky used to do that.
Yeah, Ali just did that for Photoshop.
That was Photoshop.
Oh, stop.
But he was in great shape, who was obsessed with winning because winning the championship means you make money. Because Rocky read a book when he was a kid about fighters going broke. He wasn't a kid.
And saw Joe Louis up close.
And he helped Joe, and he helped Joe Louis not just with fundraisers, but he gave Joe Louis a ton of money. He would also, what he would do, where there would be an event that he promised the guy that he would speak at. Last minute, he said, I can't make it. I'll do the next event for you for free if you give this event to Judge Joe Walcott. That's why when he passed away, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, all these guys were just devastated. Yeah, he said, God's getting a good man was his famous line. The one thing, the knock against Rocky was his size.
Might be the most Joe Louis ever said.
Oh, man. Jim, stop.
But Rocky could hit, and he would go to the body, and he hit from different angles. Yes, these guys were 6'6", 6'7". But if you get hit, I don't care if you get hit from a guy who's 6'6" or 5'6". If you get hit, okay, and Rocky did you know, he did come in on you. I mean, he wasn't afraid to take a punch. I mean, not that he was a punching bag, but, you know, he wasn't a stylistic fighter or anything by no
67
means.
inch.
What's that?
67
Short,
inch.
short arms.
He was a
Short
super
arms.
middleweight.
Joe
Short
Lewis had
arms, yeah.
9 inches on
Yeah,
him.
but he
and
got
Joe
him.
Lewis didn't have long arms.
Right.
Yeah.
But I still think for me, man, being biased, I still think he's
Claudio,
undefeated.
did he have help off the?
No. Okay, let me tell you about that.
Clear
Let me tell you
that up.
about
Clear
Let me
that
tell
up
you
for
about
the
that.
viewing.
There's people who always, you know, because he was Italian, all that kind of stuff. The mob back then said, and the line was this exact line: Rocky stays clean. They didn't want to touch Rocky. First of all, Rocky
that's
would
hard to
have.
believe.
They helped
That's hard to
everybody
believe.
else but Rocky.
But they didn't need to help him.
True,
They
true. They didn't need to help him, but
They
I'm
need
just-
to help him. So here's the thing: they didn't approach him because they were proud he was an Italian guy who was doing well. Because Italians used to get ripped on back then. We still do, I guess. I don't know what the hell. At least I do. But from Jim. But
You're a made man,
But the thing is, they didn't want to touch him. They didn't want to make him dirty. And Rocky wouldn't have gone for it anyway. There was talk about the cockle fight. Okay, because they said, can you imagine? And it was a lower tier guy. There was talk about and Rocky got really upset because Rocky was obsessed with that O. Even though they said, well, you're in a rematch, you'll beat the hell out of him, you'll make a ton of money. Rocky didn't play with that. Yeah. But the higher ups in that world never touched
Did
him.
he
They
dump Sonny
respected-
Liston? There's some that said he
He
retired
was
because he didn't want to fight
no,
Sonny
he'd have
Liston.
beaten Sonny Liston too.
Ooh.
He'd have beat Sonny Liston too. I don't know if anybody would have beat Rocky Marciano because not only did he have a punch, he had a chin and he had heart. He was
That's
going to
true.
go through you no matter what. There was no way in hell that and you have to have that desire. And did
But
Sonny
he lost
Liston
it-
have the
He
desire?
lost it when he retired, though.
Yeah, that's why he didn't come back.
Yeah,
he started training and he said, I don't have the hunger
timing,
anymore.
The timing
Timing.
was all good. Sonny Liston coming up, and I lost my desire to fight.
Well, no, I don't know about that. I
Sonny
don't know
will
about
take that desire
Sonny
away.
got hit with the anchor punch. What the hell would Rocky have done with him? Think about that for a second. If his eyes swelled up with Rocky.
Sonny made a lot of people rethink their careers, Jim.
I don't know. But again, if he got knocked down by the anchor punch, what would Rocky have done to him? You think Walcott was bad? Sonny would have been worse. But Sonny was great. I'm not ripping on Sonny. But for my money, again, I've watched a zillion films on Rocky, read all the books on Rocky. When I went to Providence, Rhode Island to see Vinny Paz fight, all those old timers would just, Rocky one time hit this guy, his head went 6. I mean, the fish keeps getting bigger and bigger.
You want to get Claudio mad? Say something bad about Rocky.
No. But again, somebody I grew up. My dad even kept the press clippings. My dad was devastated when Rocky passed. Obviously, especially the way he did. But legendary guy, undefeated. Unfortunately, passed way too young. It'd been nice to see, and him and Muhammad Ali got to be very close. That great computer
he beat
fight.
him in a computerized fight.
Well,
man. The
but
computers don't
they
make
were
mistakes.
close.
Computers don't make mistakes.
Yeah, they do all the
They
time.
do. Ask Roy Jones.
All the time
But,
they make mistakes.